Look, it's one of those words that's incredibly fluid, and it covers so many different perceptions. It brings me back to really the notion of language, and how our perception of language is really based around personal experience. How we define words and attribute them to symbols really depends on your experience of the world and what you've received and what you've observed and so on. So dance for me is very broad. It covers so many things, but in my heart, dance is actually Michael Jackson. Like, that's in my heart. It's Michael Jackson is dance. So yeah, all dancers are innately choreographers in a way. So it's been with me forever, and it's kind of strange in that way, because I feel like my experience of the world has been very much through the filter of dance, which is kind of unusual. I worked as a dancer with a number of companies, and through that experience, I really started to develop a sense that there was something that was not being said, or there was something that there was a voice to be heard, and there was a vision that was not out there, and so I think I recognised that there was maybe a point of difference about the way I was thinking about choreography and its relationship to other things. My works tend to follow on from the previous works. They are focused around quite specific language and quite specific thematic concerns. And so part of that, one of the most intrinsic elements of my work, is looking at kind of a collision of sort of futurist kind of ideas with the idea of the primitive. Well, okay, aside from choreography and dance, the other thing that I really love to do is to dig in the garden. And I have this strange thing where I think, like, I have a calling which is actually, it's not located in a studio, it's not inside, it's like outdoors, and it's doing like very mundane things like tending to shrubs in the garden. And it's funny actually, because sometimes I've thought, if I had another career, and this sounds like completely like unromantic, but I would love to maintain like civic spaces. If there was any parallels between attending to a garden and making choreographic work, I would say that it would have something to do with the power of this meditative quality. I'm sort of interested in looking at what underpins the mythologies around the idea that the built environment is artificial. So we tend to think of the built environment and technology as artificial and as separate from the natural world. However, I'm really interested in the idea that that's not the case. It's in fact an extension of the natural world, and that when we're born into that world, it's actually our natural environment. The dancers are really just exploring the language that I'm giving them. A lot of it is, it doesn't draw on their personal strengths very much. It's really giving them very specific, very new ideas that are very unfamiliar. So it's kind of exposing and revealing of them in a different way, though. In fact, it strips, my work tends to strip away a lot of the best qualities of the dancers. And expose something quite more closer to, as I said before, just their sort of pure biology, the pure mechanics. There's a sort of intrinsic interest in watching someone dealing with a difficult situation. I've been working with Alistair McIndoe for probably in the region of 5 to 6 years. And he's been a very important collaborator for me, both as a dancer and also as a sound creator, composer. So he's building this robot, and the robot should be a hindrance to the human. It's not helpful to the human. The human has to assist it to do its job, perhaps, and in the end, the human loses out. Kind of a duet between organic biology and man-made mechanical material objects. Ideally, I hope that the audience experience of this work would be that they're receiving language that they understand, both visual representations of ideas, words that they recognise, that over the course of the piece unravel and they somehow cease to have the meaning that they thought that they had, or they're left with questions about what they think is real in the world anymore. I'm quite ambitious and I like to sort of think big, and so it's something to do with letting the audience get an experience of their own language and their own world that they live in, and collapse some of the beliefs and the truths that they have.